This is our AI session. Call it AI, like magic, but real. Because some of the things you're going to see today, you're going to think, how does it do that? Or why is that possible? The whole point of this session is to save you time, save you energy, keep you away from your keyboards so you can be with your kids. Hi. I have a confession to make. I have not prepared a PowerPoint for this session. I've spent a lot of time preparing for this session, playing around with these tools, but everything you're going to see today is going to be done in real time. We are running this like an improv show. So bear with me. None of this is planned. All right. I am showing you these tools in order of what I perceive to be least to most impressive or least to most applicable. If you have heard of or used any AI tools, it was probably ChatGPT, yes? Show of hands, who's played around with ChatGPT? What have you had it do for you? Okay, yes. ChatGPT is multilingual.
Yeah, cover letter.
Cover letters. I used it to write the cover letter for this job.
Rewrite a movie script.
Rewrite a movie script. I didn't like the ending to Game of Thrones. Rewrite me the last season. That's what I that. How did I know that? But let's see what else it can do. How many of you have had to write a parent email that you were not excited to sit down and write? All right, let's take a really common example. Now, AI is all about the prompt. The better you get at prompting it, the better products you're going to get. So with something that's really general, that's made for the general public, you want to tell it its role. So I'm always going to say, you are what? You can have it be a dungeon master and run your D&D club. I have a teacher using ChatGPT to run their D&D club in a school up in New York.
Monster.
Yeah, right? So you can have it can be anything. So you want to tell it who it is first. So I'm going to say, use my voice to text here because it's faster. You are a 9th grade English teacher. Write a parent email about a student who is using their cell phone in class against school policy. We've all had that, right?
Oh.
There's absolutely no human interaction.
Now, AI, by definition, is mediocre writing, okay? It's reading everything that has ever been written, looking for patterns, and creating, that's why we call it generative AI, generating a new piece of text based on what it has read before. Thousands of teachers have written this email, yes? Yeah, so it knows how to do this fairly well. Never, ever, ever create something in AI and use it or send it out without giving it a good look-see, okay? It's going to have things like this, dear parent guardian's name. That's not a good look if you send that out, right? It's gotten very good. You're not going to see spelling errors. You're not going to see grammar errors. You might need to go and adjust things like details about our specific school policy. You can teach it those things as you use it. You can teach it our grading policy. You can teach it our lesson plan format. Speaking of which, let's start a new conversation. All right, who wants to write a lesson plan with AI right now? What do you teach?
I'm a middle school family consumer science teacher.
Okay, and give me a lesson that you want to teach.
The MyPlate.gov
Beautiful.
lesson using national FCCLA standards.
National, not Virginia.
Yeah, the national.
All right, I'm going to write that down. FC. Using national, what standards?
National standards for FCCLA.
FCCLA. Okay, let's see if it can figure this out. You are a middle school family and consumer sciences teacher. Use the national NCCLA standards and create a lesson plan about MyPlate Federal Nutrition Guide.
So it's called FCCLA. So family. Yeah. Family career. Yep.
Other side note, when you're using voice to text, again, also always look back because, again, the more you use it, the better it gets at recognizing your voice. But when it comes to letters and acronyms, it'll mess things up. Okay, so I've told it what to do. It knows Virginia standards. So if you say, make me a lesson plan using Virginia Department of Education standards, it will put the standards in the lesson plan. Now I'm going to go a step further, and I'm going to pull up, this is our Accomack County lesson plan format. This is a skeleton of it. I took out all the descriptors and everything. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm also going to tell it to include the following elements. Colon. Whoops. I hit enter instead of paste. But there you go.
You said that to me, Neil.
You can go to ChatGPT and it will do it for you. Again, you're going to look over this, you're going to edit this, but this is a really good tool if you're stuck, especially when we're, 7 weeks in, you're starting to get exhausted and you're just stuck for a creative idea for a lesson. You can run this prompt 7 times. It's going to give you 7 different ideas. And see, even without me telling it, I accidentally hit enter instead of paste when I put in the components, but it did a pretty decent job, right? Include an activity, creative project, class discussion.
Even did 3 lessons.
Uh-huh. This is also really useful for writing subplans. Because a lot of the stuff that we write in subplans is like stuff we already know, but you just need it written down. There you go. All right. So that's ChatGPT. You can have ChatGPT write anything for you. It's basically a text generator. Emails, you can have it do lesson plans, you can have it create informational text, but if you do that, the information might not be correct. Remember, it's gleaning language from all over the world. So we all know the internet is full of misinformation, right? So anything that exists, a lot of text that's wrong about, ChatGPT will spit it out. So watch this. Let's start a new conversation. Write a 5-paragraph informative essay about why the earth is flat. Include evidence.
Oh, no.
Wow.
So AI will include misinformation if you prompt it the wrong way. Now, if I am teaching 9th grade science, I'm going to have my students read this. I'm going to have them go through and refute it line by line using the science that I've taught them. So there's a lot of ways to use this stuff.
No, it actually supports the conclusion that the earth is sphere.
Oh yeah, it'll tell you what you tell it to say is what it's gonna say. So be careful. People are freaking out right now. You said you're happy to see somebody talk about AI in a positive way and not it's the end of the world way. Right. Because some guy went on ChatGPT and said, write me a sci-fi novel about AI taking over the world. And it did, and it was actually pretty good and really creepy. The AI doesn't want to do that. It wanted to create the novel because that's what somebody asked it to do. Mm-hmm. It's just lines of code. Don't freak out. Okay, so that's ChatGPT. That was the first readily available AI, generative AI tool that was put out for the masses. Okay, the AI that was cutting edge, this was cutting edge in June. This was made just available for the public in I think April. People were just starting to get hold of it and use it in June, right? The AIs that were cutting edge in June are now obsolete because people are starting to specialize it. And the whole point of AI is that it learns. So a bunch of educators got together and they said, hey, we can teach ChatGPT how to be an educator. And that's where we got this website, EduAid. Now, most of these websites require some kind of login. Everything I'm showing you today is free and available to the public. There is a paid version of some of them, including ChatGPT, and everything I'm showing to you today is the free version. I've not paid for any of this stuff. Okay, so EduAid is basically ChatGPT that has been taught about education. So it's got a planning function. I can ask it to plan lessons. I can ask it to plan a whole unit. Who's got a unit they teach?
World War II.
World War II. What grade level?
10.
10th grade. Now, I don't have to tell it it's a teacher because now I'm in a teacher tool. It knows it's planning for teaching, and now it knows it's going to make a unit plan. So I'm going to tell it, create a unit plan. Create a unit plan for 10th grade students on World War II.
Yeah.
Include Virginia State Department of Education learning standards. Now, if you've done any code, this website works like coding. There's where you put the prompt, everything that you tell it to do shows up in the console. So Eduate is basically designed to give you stuff that you can copy and paste to another place. Anything else I do is just going to pop below this in the console. Oh, look! It knows Virginia SOS! It's going to give you multiple lessons in a full unit plan. It'll also do a lesson plan. Now, I can also have it make anchor charts. I really enjoy the list function. Lists are fun. So for example, I can tell it, let's see, about make a list of elements on the periodic table organized by melting point. Let's say. Oh, I forgot to delete this. Again, it's all just going to show up in the console. There you go. So this is really good. Let's say, you've taught World War II already and you want to make a timeline. You can make a list, make a chronological list of major events in World War II. Include dates, locations, whatever you want it to give. It'll make the list. Okay? Independent practice. I can have it create all types of worksheets, activities. It can make me stations. It can make me jigsaw activities. It can make me a bingo game. Let's make a bingo game. All right, who's got a topic that you teach that has like a lot of vocabulary that you might want to do a vocabulary review game with? Yeah. First grade art, okay. Oh, I always forget, in this platform, you always want to clear the console before you ask it to do anything new. Because again, like coding, it's got like a work side and then a generation side. So anything you generate is going to come over here, and it's just going to keep adding it to the bottom if you don't clear it. Okay. Create a review bingo game. Whoop. Sorry. Dangers of voice to text. So anything that pops out over here, you can go back and edit. If I want to add a sentence, take out a sentence, I can type. This is generating in a type field, so I can type it there. I was in the wrong spot when I did that, so we're going to come back here. We're going to select gamification, bingo style. Okay, we're going to come down here. Make a bingo review game for art terms for first grade students about elements of art using Virginia standards. Now, usually if I say Virginia standards, I always say the Virginia Department of Education standards, because again, it's going on the internet to find this stuff. So the more help you give it to find the information it needs to give you a good response. Oh, look, there you go. So it'll tell you like a list of words. So you can give them a blank bingo sheet. They can choose to put the words wherever they want on their bingo sheet, and it gives you the questions to give them a bingo game. I'm not going to go through all the activities because there's dozens of them, and we got a lot to go through today. There's a lot of cool stuff. But you can see there's Jeopardy. It'll make you a Jeopardy game. It'll make you a jigsaw activity. It'll make you a lab if you're in science. It can also make you, if you've ever done I Have Who Has, really great activity, but it's a pain to plan because you have to have the exact number of cards for the exact number of students you have in your room that day. So if you get a new student or 2 students are absent, now you got to scramble and read it. Put it in AI. Make me an I Have Who Has activity using, adding double-digit numbers, facts, whatever it is you want them to do. All right, so that's the content generator side. There's also, if you come over here, there's an assistant. We all deserve an assistant. Lord knows we can't afford them, so we don't have them, but now you have one. Eduate has an assistant function, which can do wonderful things like email home. Just like you could prompt it the same exact way we just did in ChatGPT, but again, this is ChatGPT filtered through a teacher's lens. So it's going to format everything automatically a little bit more like a good teacher would. Okay? You can set it up to write your classroom weekly newsletter. You can have it write a sub-plan. So let's generate a sub-plan. Oh no, I'm not going to be out tomorrow. I don't want to give them busy work. I want to have them actually do something useful. Who's ever missed a day of school? What do you teach?
U.S. history.
U.S. history. Okay, give me a day that you might have been out for.
Just a day?
Yeah. Like one day worth of content that you might leave for a sub.
Oh, you say like reconstruction period.
Reconstruction. Okay. So I'm going to collect substitute planner. What grade level?
7th.
7th grade. Create a 7th grade lesson plan, including Virginia Department of Education Standards of Learning for a history class studying the Reconstruction period. It put period because I said period. That's how. Again, voice to text and AI. Always double check what it puts out for you because it put period, the punctuation, not period, the word. Oh, look! Your lesson plan, your sub-plan. It has objectives, materials. It even goes through and puts, a good teacher has these basic classroom rules. When you have a sub, it's still writing. You just can't see what it's writing. Classroom rules. Reminders for the substitute. Again, this is AI designed by teachers. So it knows things like encourage active engagement, monitor noise levels. It's going to put that in your sub-plan for you. So all the stuff that you know every time you have to write a sub-plan, you're like, oh, I got to write this like 30 pages of sub-plans because I don't know who I'm going to get. Like magic, but real, right? Okay. This is eduaide.ai. eduaide.ai. Now here's where it gets really cool. Accessibility. I can increase or decrease the Lexile level of any piece of text. So let's pop back to ChatGPT for a minute. Let's copy my essay about the flat Earth. I'm going to clear my console. Okay. I'm going to paste in the essay. Let's say this is an article they're reading or any piece of writing that students are reading in your classroom, and I want to decrease the Lexile level. Do you know what that means?
Yeah. Reading level, right?
Reading level, yeah. So let's say, okay, I think this article is accessible for 90% of the kids in my class, but these 6 kids are struggling readers and they need the same exact information in the same exact number of paragraphs so that they can do the jigsaw activity or whatever we're doing with this piece of writing. But just so happens when I give it to this group of kids over here, they're going to get the same exact information written at a lower reading level. If we look at this, the notion of flat Earth has persisted as a controversial topic despite overwhelming scientific evidence supporting Earth's spherical nature. The idea of the flat Earth has sparked controversy despite scientific evidence. Now I can run that through again and get another level. Now I can also run it through the Lexile increaser. All right, I want this group of kids doing a jigsaw activity so nobody sees what each other is getting, but they all think it's the same thing, and I want to bump it up to college level. It'll do that.
Wow. The thinking man's argument for the flat Earth.
Exactly. So that's EduAid. The wellness, this is so they'd have like icebreakers and team building activities. You can go around and play with those on your own. Productivity, it'll do data It'll give you frameworks. And again, this list function is helpful for a lot of different things. So that is EduAid. How do we like AI so far? Is this useful? Is this going to make your life easier? All right. Wait till you see CurryPod. Now, CurryPod has a paid version that does more than this. But, again, everything I'm going to show you today is free. The only thing with the free version of CurryPod is that you can only have so many things saved. So I can't save 75 different presentations in CurryPod unless I'm paying for it. But, like you can see, I have a good amount of stuff in here that I've played with over time. I'm going to go to Create Lesson.
Can you have it like created in there and then export it?
So they want you to pay for it, and they make it really, really difficult to do that. And I'm going to show you why they're able to do that in a minute. But I want to create a full lesson. Okay? Who wants to play with CurryPod? Yeah. What do you teach? Okay, so think of one of your students and a lesson they might be in. Basic English. Okay, so ELA, what grade level? 9th grade. So give me something ELA 9th grade's doing. Are they reading Shakespeare? Is that when they do Romeo and Juliet, right? English 9? All right. Romeo and Juliet. Jeez. Act 1 for 9th grade. All right, let's see what it does. That's all I gave it. All I told it was Romeo and Juliet, Act 1, 9th grade. Let's see what it gives us. It's going to send this little rocket around. All right, it's going to give you this set of slides. Now, as I look through here, I can move these around. Okay, I can slide this over here, slide this over there. So it's going to first give me a slide that asks for some background information, background knowledge. It's going to give me a few slides that are informational. My first ever sim I did on this was with the solar system. This works really nicely for math and science especially. It's going to give me some questions. It's going to build in brain breaks. And it has interactive features like a Kahoot built right in, ready to go. So if I am presenting this, again, I can take any of these slides out. I can put them in. Okay, it's going to put a time limit here. I can increase or decrease this. All right, I have like so many things going on my screen right now. Okay, I can. Oh, so you can either go to CurryPod. If you go on your desktop and you just type in curie.live and use that pin, or you can QR code it, just like a Kahoot. You're going to get a message that says, see, people are popping up, just like a Kahoot. You can put in your real name, you put in your nickname, and then you're going to get a screen that says, wait for your teacher to start the activity. Or look at the big screen, wait for your teacher to start it. I'm going to click play, and then it's going to give you the opportunity to interact with my slide. Ready? Set. And you're going to see people's answers start popping up just like in that Kahoot the other day. Oh yeah, no, I was going to do this. So, again, you can only save so much stuff. Yeah, so you can see on the timer. Yeah, and you can extend that. You can make the timer longer, shorter based on the activity. So with CurryPod, because you can only save so many items in there, you're not going to save them for every, one for every day type of thing, like you would in your Google Drive or in your Canva. But there you go. Works just like as a Kahoot, right?
Yeah, I was about to say.
It was me.
Okay.
Then goes back and does some comprehension stuff. So CurryPod builds in background building, teaching information, interactive elements, assessment, all of it in one presentation. It's going to tell me I have an ongoing lesson. What are you doing? I'm going to say, yeah, exit out of it. Now I can move these slides around. I can add in new slides. I can write my own slides. I can add media if I want to put a little GIF in here, whatever.
Do you tell it, like, I need a 20-minute CurryPod, or I need...
You can. Yeah. So when I went in, I asked it for a whole lesson. So I'm going to click here, create lesson. And you see, I can generate slides, which is what we just did, which will give you a full lesson. Okay. Curify my slides. You can upload a Google Slides or a PowerPoint that you've already made. And it will add those interactive activities. It'll add brain breaks. It might add some background knowledge. It's going to analyze what you've done and say, okay, I don't think this is interactive enough. I don't think this is building background knowledge enough. Okay, or you can act it just for a certain activity, any one of those. So if I just want it to do a drawing prompt brain break, I can just ask for that.
Is the CurryPod the part you have to pay for?
No, everything I just showed you is free.
Okay.
It's just the only thing is if I go to, where is it? If I go to my lessons, these are all things I've asked it to do, but I'm running out of space here. It's not going to let me save all this stuff simultaneously. If I keep generating new things, it's only going to allow me to save so many at a time. But how long did that take to generate? 3 minutes? So if every year when you get to that unit, you want to regenerate the CurryPod, it's AI. It's only going to get better. So next year, it's going to give you something even better. So that's CurryPod. All right. Knowledge. Knowledge AI is specifically designed to work with videos. How many of you have ever shown a video, a YouTube video, for example, in your classroom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do you teach? Second grade. Okay. Let's see if we can find a video you've ever used. YouTube. Again, this is all in real time. I have not planned any of this. Let's search for something in YouTube that you've ever shown in your classroom. Okay, yeah, perfect. We'll see if we can find your exact video. If not, we'll grab one of these. Oh, hold on. I don't like to do it this way. I like to go in directly into YouTube. But that's just me. All right, any of these look familiar?
That one is purple.
The purple one?
Yes.
At the top?
Everyone that's on the screen.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this guy. I've used this guy. The homeschool guy. He does a lot of good grammar stuff that I've used. Okay, so I'm going to copy that URL. I'm going to go back to knowledge. I got to sign in. Okay, I'm going to click create. I'm going to say we're operating in English today. I'm going to use a URL. Now, I can also upload a video that I've recorded or that students have recorded. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to click micro-learning. The first thing it's going to do, the AI is going to go watch the video. It's going to transcribe the video, so you have a full text of the entire video. It's going to analyze that transcript. It's going to give you questions. It's key vocabulary and define that key vocabulary. It's going to give you vocabulary reinforcement activities. And it's going to give you knowledge check activities, like comprehension activities, all for that video, just from watching it. Now, because it has to do all of that with a video, it does take a little bit longer because there's more digital steps going on behind the screens. So I'm just going to leave this sitting open here for a minute. We already did EduAid. We already did ChatGPT. I'm going to leave knowledge here doing its thing. So right now it's watching the video. It's found it. See? Now it's watching it. It's transcribing it now. While it does that,